want to know what Roger Clemens was like, and what did he give you that you used in the film?
Well, he gave me a lot, including a fastball around 90 miles an hour under my chin, as they call it, chin music, which probably was the coolest thing ever. Not when it happened. Not when it happened, it sure wasn't cool. But afterwards, I was like, oh, wait, that's kind of a compliment. Well, part of the spring training was I did one of these development camps that my character is trying to do in the movie and raise money for with his character. And so went to this development camp, played on Tim Johnson's team, and Roger Clemens' son was on it, Koby, who was kind of in and out of the minors, kind of bouncing around the minor leagues. I would say late 20s, maybe, something like that. And Roger was there the whole time. So because Tim managed Roger on the Red Sox and then Toronto Blue Jays in the late 90s, they had a great relationship. And Tim, Johnson made that whole connection happen. So one of the things Koby would do is invite me to go have workouts with him and his dad. And so, obviously he would, and he's throwing batting practice. He's not on the mound. He's not in a game or anything like that. But it was fun because I did hit 2 home runs off of him. And these are spring training fields. So, I mean, it's a legit, it's not like we're on like some high school field. Like, I mean, I hit him out. But on the first one, I hit it, and when I got a hold of it, I was like, and I'm holding the bat up like this, and I'm watching it go over, and then there was a kind of a crowd watching too, and I was like, oh my God, I just hit a home run off Roger Clemens, and then he yells, from the mound, no, well, it was just batting practice, but he yells, are you pimping me? Because I guess that's what that is. I didn't know. I was like, oh no, and I dropped the bat. I was like, no, I was watching it. I was frozen in amazement that I did that. He goes, no, you were pimping me. So I got back in for the next one. Zoom, right under the chin, and man, it's something. And he probably wasn't even giving it anything yet. And then he laughed like that. He's like, I won't do it again. He goes, I wouldn't have hit you. I go, yeah. And then when I got back in, I usually crowd the plate. I got back a few steps. He's like, no, man. He's like, seriously, I'm not gonna. Koby was laughing. Okay, but he gave me a lot because his son, this story is him and his son's story. His son is one of the greatest players. His father is one of the greatest players this game has ever seen. Right. How do you follow? Yeah, you're Roger Clemens' son. To some degree, he has to know he's playing in the minor leagues and staying in the minor leagues because he's Roger's son. He's a very excellent player, but he even knew he wasn't. Because he just kept going up, down, up, down, up, down, and that's not, And his dad just went straight, So I spent a lot of time with him and his dad in their hotel suite, talking, having drinks, dinners, and it was really interesting. And I showed them a scene because we had some of the film already shot. And I showed them this one scene between me and Jeff in the movie in the hallway when we have our argument. And when the scene was over, they were really both quiet. I was like, ew, uh-oh. Right. And Roger was like, wow, how did you know? And I was like, what do you mean? He said, we've had that conversation. Wow. That's amazing. You guys really captured it. And most of the baseball guys, because baseball life really happens off the field, is what I learned, So Roger was great. Again, it just taught me how difficult it is and how much respect to have, and I know there's all these stories. We didn't talk about it, but there are all the steroid stories surrounding him. I don't care. This man is an amazing natural talent. And if he took them or didn't take them, I don't care. Still can't replicate that. You have to be a naturally gifted human being. And I don't even, and I don't even know that he did or he didn't, but I know that whole thing surrounds him. And he just, he had such a love and such a respect for the game. So that I took a lot of that for my character, and I watched their dynamic as father and son when they would talk and they would share stories with me. Unbelievably open people, you know? So super supportive. I mean, other players too were great, gave me a lot, but without that, you know, that really helped me sort of like see it. You know, like Ewald and his dad, I see their dynamic, but Ewald's not a player. He's a filmmaker. You know, he chose not. I mean, he knew, but like, you know, watching them too. So yeah, it was and of course, tons of great stories.
Yeah, sure.
You know, he told me about like he's like my one thing was don't dig in on me, which, you know, a guy gets in, he digs in, and he said he would yell from the mound. He's like, don't do that. He didn't want guys to ever dig in on him, and if they did, he would yell. He's like, all right, you're good, or whatever he would say, but he would tell them, if you do that, I'm gonna hit you, and that's what he would do, and I can only imagine how much it must have hurt.